Vancouver. Welcome to our December edition of the Future Me podcast. I am Lindsay Garcia, the District Avid Lead, and I work with a group of adults that thinks about how we can best prepare you for big decisions about your future. Our goal for this podcast is to provide you with informative and inspirational segments each month that prepare you for the decisions that you have to make about what you want to do after you graduate. Our theme this month is military options, and today we have the opportunity to chat with Andrew Chambers. He is a counselor at Lincoln Elementary School and a former Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps. We are also joined by Staff Sergeant Nichols from the Air Force and Staff Sergeant Gross from the Marines and Staff Sergeant Macdonald from the Army. Thank you all for being here. You'll see them all in a couple of minutes. We're going to begin with a couple of questions for Mr. Chambers. Mr. Chambers, welcome. And can you first just tell us a little bit about your military experience and how you came to the decision to enlist in the military?
Yes, thank you for having me. I began as a graduate from Grant High School in Portland, Oregon. I wanted to have a career path. I needed skills, and I wanted to find a way to also attend college. And I found out through the military service, the United States Marine Corps specifically, that I could earn my way to college as well as find new skills to help me in life and become successful as I am currently a school counselor for the Vancouver School District.
Absolutely. We are lucky to have you. Thank you for telling us a little bit of your story, and thank you so much for your service. As a district career and counseling team, we really support student choice. We want students to explore the many options available to them after high school so that they can make the best choice for them. And it's super neat to have a counselor who's had this experience. So thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the rest of our military representatives. We're going to ask this question of all of them, and we will give them the opportunity to respond individually. The question is to tell us a little bit about your branch of the military specifically. So we'll start with Staff Sergeant Gross of the Marines.
Appreciate that, Lindsay. It's great to be here. So the Marine Corps in general is going to be a mixture. So we are in the air, on land, and in the sea. We offer a variety of different fields. So there's over 200. The only one we do not have internally is a medical field. We get that from the Navy itself. But we do cover trades, everything from HR to obviously infantry. So, but a pretty good mixture in there as a high standard across the board is pretty much what makes us different or what we're known for.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to Staff Sergeant Nichols of the Air Force.
Thank you very much for having me. So as far as what makes the Air Force different than, the other branches and what specifically the Air Force offers is that our mission is to fly, fight, and win. So of course, our domain is essentially the air. So not only do we have pilots, the majority of the jobs that are actually in the Air Force are in support of that direct mission that the Air Force has. So we have maintainers that actually fix the planes. We have pretty much any job you can think of that has a civilian counterpart. We have certain civil engineering jobs, medical jobs, and even dental assistant, which is my job. So we have a big mixture of all these different types of jobs that actually contribute to the mission. And, we basically just work on that one mission of flying, fighting, winning, and we actually defend the Constitution of the United States, just like all of the branches. And we are just a big mixture of all those different jobs. And we are really, able to help you with long-term goals and whatever you might be working towards. So that's really kind of what the Air Force is all about.
Great. Thank you. So many options. And last, we'll turn to Staff Sergeant Macdonald of the Army. Tell us a little bit about the Army specifically.
Thanks for having me today. Well, the Army is a self-sustaining branch. What that means is when we go fight, we can self-sustain ourselves. We have everything from cook, MPs, to vets, to light wheel mechanics, to heavy wheel mechanics, and that's also diesel mechanics. We have a wide range of jobs, over 150 jobs within the Army. We also help out some of my comrades overseas and also here in the States too.
Great, thank you. Well, I've learned so much already, mainly that there are so many options and that the military is a great way to kind of figure out who you are and where you're headed. I also just want to mention that we do not have representatives from the Navy and the Coast Guard here, but there's plenty of information on our website that we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay, we're going to turn directly to Staff Sergeant Nichols now of the Air Force. The first question is, how is joining the military force similar to choosing college after high school?
That's a very good question. So essentially, the biggest difference would be, whenever you go to college, you're doing your college courses as, kind of the main thing in your life. And maybe off to the side, you have like a job that is separate from your college experience and helps you pay the bills and do all those different things. The Air Force and the military specifically, or, military in general, we basically give you all in one. So you not only have the job that you do for your particular branch, but on the side, we do offer you that free college tuition assistance to be able to help you pay for college and to continuously work towards your degree. So that would be the main difference for that, for sure.
Awesome. Sounds like a great benefit. What has been the greatest reward and greatest challenge from your service in the Air Force?
So starting off with the greatest challenge, I would just say getting through basic training and tech school and that initial step, getting into the Air Force. That's something I never thought that I would get into, and just being able to accomplish that is definitely something to be proud of for sure. But the greatest reward that I have of being in the Air Force is just being a part of something that is bigger than myself, and a mission that, is just able to serve my own country while at the same time, being able to work on my goals. I'm able to do that while being of service to something that's very, very large and bigger than myself.
Absolutely. Especially this COVID times that we're living in, where we can feel really isolated. Having that community and knowing that you're working for something bigger than yourself is really, really appealing. Thank you so much for your time and your service. We're going to turn now to Staff Sergeant Gross from the Marines. What criteria does the military and maybe the Marines specifically take into consideration when identifying and enlisting students?
That's a really good question, Lindsay. I think that's something that most people don't know, where they assume a lot of things about. The first thing is going to be your age. For us, it usually starts with 16, 17 towards the year. Marine Corps specific will go all the way up to 29. Some of the other branches may extend past that age. And then we're going to look at a lot of different categories. So your citizenship, as well as your education. If you're a senior, are you in good standing and on track to graduate? And if you are a graduate, did you get a standard diploma? Did you meet all the requirements that we needed you to meet? And then from there, it kind of goes into an individual basis. So we'll look at your medical, any medical conditions, surgeries, operations, any kind of medications that you have, any kind of hardware like plates, pins, screws, things like that. A lot of those are going to be individual based. So the best way to kind of see, okay, am I qualified? Am I not? Come and talk to a recruiter. We'll go through, a screening with you. Some of the other things we're going to look at is going to be height and weight. We all have a pretty strict height and weight standard. We can help you get within that standard if you are without. So again, that's not off the bat going to keep you from pursuing this. It's just something that we'll look at on an individual basis. And then our tattoo policies. We have a pretty strict tattoo policy. Everybody has their own, iteration of it, I guess. So being at your senior year, go out, write a passage, I'm an adult, get a tattoo. Before you do that, if you are considering this, please come and talk about disqualifying yourself. And then police involvement as well. That's not always going to be a disqualifying factor. That's going to be something that on a case-by-case basis, we'll look at it, see what it was, whether it's dismissed, the severity of it, and everything else. And then your ASVAB score as well. And I think the other thing that we look for, are you a good fit? For the different branches and what we do and what we're known for, are you a good fit for the Marine Corps? Do I think that you're a good addition to the team? Do you uphold that legacy, and are you capable? I don't want to set somebody up for failure, and I do not want you to enlist if it's not something that's for you. So those are some of the things that we'll look at.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Seniors, pay special attention to that tattoo policy and make sure that you are seeking out your recruiters to find out if you are a good fit for whatever branch that you're thinking about. Staff Sergeant Gross, one more question. You mentioned the ASVAB. Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of the test and how students can kind of best prepare themselves to take it?
Absolutely. So the ASVAB is extremely important because it is what helps determine what you're eligible for or what you will do within the military. Each branch has their own requirements per job. So I thought the Marine Corps was just infantry. I didn't really care. And I found out of the 200 jobs, infantry is just one. So in order for you to qualify for jobs in HR, for photography, for, our mechanics, engineering, things like that, your ASVAB score determines that. And it's also going to make sure that you meet the minimum requirement to join as well. Within that, what I would say is the best way to go about preparing for it, come in and talk to a recruiter. Everybody is hesitant to do that. Just because you come and see us doesn't mean you're joining. You're just exploring the information and the options. So we have a practice test that you can take. It lets us know where you're at. So if you do need to study, if you are short in an area, or if you're just shy of qualifying for that job that you want, that test or that practice test allows you to see, oh, okay, I just need to study up on math a little bit and meet the requirement and end up qualifying for that job. So we can kind of help you on an individual basis again from there. But a lot of that stuff, the first step, you got to come and see us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your service. All right, we're going to turn lastly to Staff Sergeant Macdonald. Welcome. Will you tell us a little bit about title and rank? For example, Staff Sergeant Macdonald. Can you explain what that means?
Yes, ma'am. So my title, to me, it means teach, mentor, and coach. I taught a lot within my years been in 10 years. I taught a lot in Hawaii, basketball for young kids, always up to ages 5 to 13. I also taught rappelling out of helicopters between 70 to 90 feet in the air. Coaching young kids that come in, also young adults that don't know nothing about the Army at all, about how to march, how to salute, how to do certain things in my office. Mentoring, show them the right way, how to do things. Mentor them about their credit score, mentor them about buying a car, not to buy those dealerships directly outside of the base that's high interest rate. Just surely showing them that we are people and showing my soldiers that I care about them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What advice would you give a student who's considering one of the branches of the military?
Don't be closed-minded. Everything changed from the 1950s, from the 1980s. It's not all about killing or going out and just fighting. It's not about that. It's about your future. If you're looking at going to college, don't think the military cannot help. The Army Reserve will be a good fit for you. 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the summer, you get to stay home and you get to go to college. No student loan debt. And that's one thing that I recommend to anybody is get the information. Whatever branch you want to go to, make sure you go to all branches. It's like a car dealership. Make sure you go to all branches, see which branch will give you the best deal. I'm just coming from a small town. I can definitely feel for some people that are very scared to get the information and also scared to leave home. So I can understand where they're coming from with them coming into the recruiting station by themselves or with their parents. They're kind of scared to get the information. So I can understand, but don't be. We all had that door we had to go through one of these days. So.
Thank you so much. All of you, thank you. We'd love to see your faces again if everyone could turn their cameras back on. Thank you so much for telling us your story and giving us information on what I learned. These are real people with real lives and real families that are serving their country and kind of finding their purpose. And I'm just so thankful to hear your information and your stories. Students, here are some important action items. If you'd like to learn more, visit the Enlist section of Future Me to learn more about the military as a career option. Find out when your school is offering that ASVAB assessment and find out the next time the military will be hosting a virtual visit. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this month on Future Me. Check out the links in the description for more information about ASVAB testing dates and military contacts. Happy holidays, everyone.